everything, I ain't nobody perfect. Something in my mind makes me think I'm everything, I ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody perfect.
Welcome back to your Girl Beauty Fam Bam. How are you guys all doing today? How are you guys enjoying this day? Hope you guys are having an amazing day. I haven't. It's been chaotic. So I've been MIA for a little bit, but I've been debating about talking about this situation, but I was like, the best thing that I can do is share it, and hopefully this will help. So I hired a private investigator. I thought when I looked private investigator up, it said something about these people were out on Manal. Well, I think it was called National Investigations Nationwide or something, or Nationwide Investigations, or Investigation Nationwide, something like that. Well, I guess it wasn't. So when they emailed me, it's detectives.com. Okay, so me and my husband went and met the guy. We paid him. I told him that I wanted them to investigate the guy that had moved in with us for a week or so, a week and a half. And he came out from Tennessee. We had known this guy for a while. He attended our church, and he was going to come stay with us until he got him a place to stay. Well, our pastor was saying that don't let him stay with you. Don't let him stay in your house. Don't let him stay in your yard. Make him get a motel. But he wouldn't say why. He just said those basic things, right? So I didn't know what to take of that, because that wasn't telling me anything, right? He just said he was a con man, and he will try to get you to do a lot of to use you. So anyways, I ended up getting the private investigator because when he was staying here for a week, he started being a little bit weird while he stayed here, right? So just acting a little bit weird while he stood here. So a week went by, I think, and he was just really on my last nerves. I told my husband I don't think this is gonna work. So when I ended up knocking on his door one night to help me put this tape in, because I couldn't get it and I didn't think to look up on YouTube, I should have, but I knocked on his door. He told me, hold on. I told him, okay, take your time. So he ended up coming to the bedroom door naked, and I could see his pants on the floor. I could see his shoes on the floor, and he didn't have nothing on his chest, and he was hidden behind the door. I don't know if he had underwear on or not, but that doesn't really matter, right? So then a few times he was folding my stuff out of the dryer. He was folding my underwear, whatnot, and that was a little bit creepy. He was snooping around in my personal information that I had on my ottoman in the living room, and just like snooping around the rooms and stuff in my drawers. And so we ended up kicking him out, and I think he was still staying with us. Yeah, I think he was still staying with us, and I heard that he had raped a girl. And so I was like, wow, well, why didn't anybody tell me that? They just warned me that he was just not a good person or whatever, but they didn't say that. Because if I would have known that, he would have never stayed here with us. Well, he was gonna just stay here until he got his own place. So we ended up kicking him out, and I don't know anything about this guy. So I wanted to see his background, and I wanted to see, if he wouldn't bother us no more. So that's why I hired these detectives.com people. So we went and we met him, and me and my husband were with this guy, and he was asking us a few questions, and we told him, yeah, we had some workers that had been working on our place, remodeling it for a year. And he said, that's kind of odd. And I had mentioned to him that we had a safe in our house, and maybe that's why we had a safe in our house for even when what's his name came to stay here, and maybe that's why the guy was around and I didn't know, and he wanted to know what was in our safe as well. So I didn't know. So he was like, well, that seems kind of weird that these men have been hanging around, maybe they are con men. So let me check on them. And I said, no, I didn't need them to check on him. He said, well, I'll just check on them too. And I was like, okay. So just like a background, right? So anyways, that whole night, he just talked about the safe. And he asked my husband, you know, like, what did we have in the safe? And his grandpa gave it to us when he passed away, and it was empty. His grandpa used to store rifles in there. We have our guns in there right now, whatever. So he was like, well, that's interesting about the safe. And he just kept like really talking about the safe or whatever. He asked what we did in our life or whatever. And then we left that night. And so I think I didn't get a call or anything from him for about a week. Finally, I ended up getting a call from him, and he asked me to go and drive by the worker's house to get their license plate number. And I was like, I'm not doing that. That's your job. Like, why are you making me do your job when that's your job? I'm not doing none of that. And he asked me, oh, and then I said, well, the cop doesn't like us. I said, next door to us, because he's never liked us. I said, my husband introduced himself a while back and had told him, you know, if I need you to move your vehicles or whatnot, here's my number. And I guess he didn't like that or something. And so he started putting his trash cans in front of my son's brand new car. So, you know, if the trash can would have fell, it would have scraped my son's car. So I would move him around to his yard, or a little bit more in front of my son's car, so it wouldn't mess my son's car up. So one time, I guess every time we would move my son's car, he would end up parking there or have someone park there, which is fine. I don't own the street, you know? So one day we moved my son's car, and he ended up moving his truck there for a whole week and left it there for a whole week and didn't move it. And I guess he was getting rides to work or whatnot. So I was like, wow. So when I told the investigator that, I was like, well, he doesn't like us. So there's like nothing we can do to try to help him to help us or anything if, you know, anything happens or whatnot. So he asked me to get his license plate number. So I did for him. And so then he started asking me the measurements of my safe. He started asking me how big my safe was and what was in it. And I was like I told you before, our safe is empty. We have guns in there, I said. And he's like, well, take those out. He's all, so when the workers get there, you could show them that it's empty, and you call me so I can go and see, but don't approach me or anything. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. You know, like everything seemed weird. And me and my husband even told me that night, it just seems like he's invested in the safe, nothing else. And I was like, yeah, it does. So when he had called and asked about that, it just seemed like he's fixated on the safe. And that's what my husband said as well. So then time went by and I started getting followed. We were at Max La Sierra one day. Well, I was paying attention. There was 3 girls on the table. They weren't really eating very much, but I had went because I seen my cousin, so I had to talk to my cousin for a bit. And when we left, I don't know where those girls ended up going. I didn't pay attention. We got in our vehicle. So then we go to Bob's Burgers. This guy drops this girl off. She goes inside and she orders some fries. She don't really eat her fries. And I don't know, she put on lipstick like Miranda sings. And she was kind of dressed kind of like hippie-ish kind of thing. And she was just like looking down the whole time. And she called someone and she said, meet me at Bob's Burgers. So when we were leaving already to leave, I noticed the other girl that was sitting in the car. She was the girl that I seen at La Max La Sierra. And the girl that I seen in Bob's Burgers was that same girl too. But I didn't get to take a picture of her. So I took a picture of that girl. So whenever we had left to Popeyes that one day, the next day, I noticed the guy, that detective, and he's a retired cop, he said. And so I noticed him, and I noticed the girl had went through the drive-thru too. Well, we had ordered stuff, so we ended up going inside. And when we were leaving, she threw her stuff in the trash right away and ran to her car really weird. So we get in our vehicle because we went down to the parking lot by Marshall's to eat. And they ended up coming around there too. And they were roaming the parking lot with various cars. I don't know, maybe 3, 4, something like that. They kept, you know, going in circles around us. And then finally, when we were done, we ended up coming home that day. Well, on the way though, I noticed that the truck had lost us because my husband pulled off in a parking lot to order. And so they kind of went in front of us. So when they were going to Popeyes, and the detective I could see was trying to turn this way. And that's when I noticed him. He got out of his truck and he ended up going to the porta potties. And so that's how I noticed him. So anyways, when I finally called the cop to come in so I could write a report that someone was following me, the police officer named Officer Osborne didn't really write anything down, wasn't taking a police report or anything, just having his hands in his pocket. He wrote a little number on here too. He gave me like a little note and little notepad too as well, like this. And it had 000 and 2 and numbers and his name Osborne, right? So that's not a case number and that's not a DVR number. That's not like a police report where you can go into the police station and get your police report, because that's nothing. He wasn't even writing anything down either. He just asked my husband a few questions, got my license number and my name, and that was it, really, basically. And so he left. Oh, and then I showed him that really weird activity had been going on around our neighborhood. There was this guy that was walking and he was going to everybody's house and he was pretending like he was reading everybody's meters, right? Well, he skipped the police's house and he was like, oh, well, you got good video there. And I was like, yeah, we do. And that was it. He left, right? So my mom needed some tissue from Costco. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I had fired these men before or after. I'm trying to think, I don't remember. But anyways, let me get to that story. So I ended up going to Costco and I was thinking maybe they won't follow us. Maybe they will. I don't know. They don't care. So it was me, my mom, and my nephew. And someone had told me, well, if someone's following you, follow them. So I was driving to Costco and I noticed they were following us. I went to AT&T and I noticed they were following us. When I went into the parking lot to my right, someone was following me in a white car. So I like turned around and then went into AT&T and those cars were there. Seemed like they're all white cars with like tinted windows, like they're, you know, undercover detectives, undercover police officers, whatever you want to call it. And they drive white vehicles as well, and then different vehicles as well. So anyways, I have a lot of license plate numbers that I've seen. I have a lot of people, I've taken a lot of pictures, which I will put up here on this video, that are the ones that I've noticed that go in the store, they'll start to shop and they don't buy anything at the end when we're walking out. You know? I heard something. Oh, so yeah. But anyways, we get into AT&T and I'm like, these people are following us. They follow us from Costco and they're over here following us as well. And I kind of shared it with the guy at AT&T what was going on. He said, well, call the cops and stay here until they get here. So when I called the officer comes in, and that's when I start to realize that these people are working with them, because he gave me this number, all that number, and his name was Officer Doodah, S104 or 107. Like, whose name is Doodah? Are you gonna doo-doo in your doodah? You know, like, I'm not stupid. I wasn't born under a rock and I wasn't born last night. So when you make police reports, they write things down. So when they make their police report and you go into the police department to get your police report, they have it and you have a case number to pick it up, right? So they can find it. Well, these cops aren't doing anything. So I had told him what was going on and he really didn't care. He was saying, well, what's their numbers? And he was like trying to write it on his hand right here. He was writing it on his palm. I don't think he was writing anything. And then he said, oh, I'll be back. I'm going to my car. And when he came back, this is what he handed me. Well, when you write a real police report, they hand you their badge, their card badge, and they give you their number, and then they give you a case number, right? So yeah, So I don't think he listened to me at all. And plus, he would have been asking my mom questions, my nephew questions, and he would have asked the workers something too. He just left, right? And that was it, right? So yeah, that's that. So Officer Duda. So if you guys know anybody that's named Officer Duda, I doubt it. So anyways, like I said, every time we go somewhere, I can see these people that I've seen multiple times. It's not just been one time, it's been a few times, right? They'll just go and they'll be picking up stuff. They'll be putting things in their basket, like they're shopping or whatnot. And when we're getting ready to leave, they leave without anything, or they're getting a few things and they're trying to hurry so we can leave, so they can leave right away, right? When we went to Starbucks, I had seen this girl at Target and I seen her wearing the same outfit. When we went to Starbucks, we were in there, we were ordering our drink. We sat down for a bit. She came in, she started to order. As soon as I told my husband, let's go, because we were gonna go to Cookie Crumble, we ended up going out and she took off. She didn't even order her drink. So yeah, those are the suspicious things that are going on, you know? So anyways, that happens. So whatever. So I call the detective and I was like, you know what? I'd rather just fire you. I don't need you. You're not seeming like you're helping me. I've been followed. I've been, you know, harassed and stalked. Like everywhere I go, it seems like you're investigating me and you're following me. So I don't need you anymore. And he was like, oh, really? Really? That's strange. Well, why didn't you call me? And I was like, I don't think I need to call you. You know, I'm trying to report it to the police. I'm like, and they're not even caring about it, right? So yeah, that was that. And then so I went to try to get a restraining order on him. And then I was like thinking, well, maybe he is following us to see what's going on, maybe, I don't know. So my husband was saying, like, maybe he's helping us, but he's really seems like he's invested in the safe. And I was like, yeah, that really seems kind of odd. So I ended up calling him back and I told him, you know, I felt like he's not helping me. Like, it feels like he's really not doing anything for me, but trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do. And he was like, no, I would never do that. Like, and I was all, well, it seems like you're really interested in the safe. And he's all, no, it's just that you said you were going to sell it, or, you know, try to get rid of it, or show the men that there's nothing in there and call me so, you know, I can see what's in there or whatever, or see what's going on, or I don't know what he was trying to say. And I was like, okay, whatever. So that was that phone call. Oh, and then he goes, what was in it before it was empty? And I was like, nothing. We got an empty safe when my husband's grandpa passed away. He wanted to give it to my husband. So I don't know what his point was. And he's all, because you live an interesting life. And he's all, you have expensive things. And I'm like, yeah, but does anybody know how I get my stuff? I use credit cards sometimes, you know. I'll buy stuff with a credit card and I don't pay it. Sometimes I skip a payment or whatever because my credit's not that good. And that's how I pay my stuff. And it's no one's business at the end of the day, right? So anyways, that's that. We got off the phone and I told my husband that's kind of weird about what he's saying, right? So a couple of days go by. He calls me again and he's like, well, are the men going back to work? And I'm like, I don't know. Haven't heard from him. I said my husband did, but I don't know if they're coming back. And he's all, well, do you know whose bathroom they're working on or something? And I was like, no, I don't know anything. And so he was all, well, you should call him. It's getting cold out here. And I was like, well, I don't know. I said, we trust them. So I don't think I need to call them. We trust them. He's all, oh, you do? Like, all stupid, right? So that was that. And like I said, it's just been really chaos. And if police people aren't helping you, like, who's going to help you at the end of the day? I guess nobody, right? Because he's so invested in trying to get the safe. Like the other night at 6 o'clock in the morning, someone's coming to walk their dog at 6 in the morning. Like, that's never happened before. And she stops right there by our RV, you know, and then continues on with her dog. Like, and then if someone rides around here at 4 o'clock in the morning, every morning at 4. you know, so it just seems like no one's helping, and like we're the criminals. And me and my husband aren't criminals. Our background is good. We don't do anything wrong. I'm on Social Security. You know, I have a tumor. My husband's retired. Like, I don't understand people. I really don't. And I don't understand why people can't have a safe with guns. Like, it's no one's business either. What's in our safe? That's no one's business. Work hard so you could get your own money, you know, at the end of the day. But yeah, but I'm like, you know what? I need some help to please share out this video so you can help these crooked cops, like this neighbor that doesn't want to help you at all. Like, we even knocked on their door to let him know, you know, that this guy was in our house and he was not a very good person. He was still even taking pictures of kids and videotaping them at the church. He was also going to a skating rink with one of the kids, one of the parents' kids, you know, and just really odd. So that's why I hired this investigator to check on this guy that was staying with us. And he really wanted to check on these men as well. Because like I said, he's been invested in the safe that doesn't have anything in it. So, yeah. So when we knocked on his door, the neighbors, I think his name is Steven or Esteban, and his police car is D55, but I've been seeing different, who knows even if he's driving that vehicle. But he's no help. I even wrote him a letter to try to tell him I was sorry for being petty or whatever at the end of the day, when I was just trying to move my vehicle. Because, I mean, move his trash cans. Because I know if I would be doing that to his brand new vehicle, he would have done the same to me, you know. But for him to be petty like that and to be like that, those aren't cops that are helping our community. Those kind of cops are corrupted cops that don't want to help and protect and serve. They just want to be crooked cops or be petty or be ugly to people. And we don't need those kind of cops on the street. Like, if you need help and someone's really, you know, following you, you need someone to help you, to protect you, to, you know, to write reports, to, you know, investigate, you know, not just to disregard someone saying stuff, you know. So I didn't want to make this video. I hadn't wanted to even come on here. I've been going through it and it hasn't been a good day. It hasn't been a good time. And I was like, I just need to make this video so maybe it can get out there that this detective.com guy is a crook and he's not helping. So, and then I had to call the FBI, and the FBI is all, but I can't tell you if anybody's following you. And I'm like, oh, well, great. So no one's helping. So I emailed the deputy chief Medina. So hopefully he gets my email. But yeah, anyway. Oh, forgot another detail out too. And then I was like, well, looks like you've been helping out the neighbor, having the neighbor work with you, I said, because it seems like those vehicles have been out there with it, talking to him and stopping by there. And then when they would leave, they would stop right here by our house and just wait a while and then take off. So, oh, and another thing I left out is that day I talked to him the other day. He was like, well, call them, tell them to hurry up so they can finish your fence. And I was like, well, it's too cold. I don't think they're going to be working on anybody's fence right now. So yeah, and that's what he wanted. He's so in a hurry. Time I've talked to the detective as well. My husband's it's been on speaker, so my husband's been around to listen as well. So this cop moved in by us recently, and he doesn't know us, and he started trying to walk all over me and take advantage of me. I will not let no one take advantage of me or walk all over me. He started putting his trash can in front of my son's brand new car, and I had to keep moving it. He also, when I moved my son's car, he stood there, parked there for a whole week and didn't move his vehicle for a whole week. He's a sheriff or a cop. He called the cops and had us move our RV to our driveway. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. And never forget, y'all, te amo muchísimo.